couple months ago, I had a Kenwood KDC515 coming through the door. It had the ribbon cable or the flexible PC damaged. This is one of these ones that you can rotate the faceplate around so that it kind of hides it or remove it completely. Bad design. I mean, these things were designed to fail. Just all the dirt in cars and stuff. Flexible PCs with dirt and flexing them back and forth with sharp edges on things. Yeah, what could go wrong here? Let's change the part. I'm back on the Kenwood KDC515S. This is the car radio that the ribbon cable went bad on. I forget how this thing pops out. I know it comes off. I have one of these somewhere. I have a Kenwood CD player. Very much like this, if it might even be the same one, kicking around somewhere. This should pop out of here, like that. Okay, let's get this unit apart, get the chassis apart again, and see if we can get this thing threaded in. Hopefully it's the right one this time. I haven't even looked at it. Pry bar out. Is there any more screws? I think those ones have to come out. Should just lift off. Catch over here. There we go. Alright, that comes out. Next comes out the CD player. Move some more screws. And then this unit should lift out, which it does. I've left it unplugged from the last time. And now I've got to lift the front panel off, so there's two more screws down here that come out. Two black screws. I think there's a third one over here if I'm not mistaken. There was one over on the side of here as well. Actually two, I think. That bracket's got to come out there. But this one here, those are two of them. There's two of them down here. Both of these I believe have to come out. And that one, I think. Those two had to come out, and then this whole thing lifts out just like that. Okay. Now we've got this piece apart. Let's get the replacement ribbon. Hopefully this is the right one this time. Yeah, this looks better. Yeah, that looks better. It's the right size. forget whether this went underneath this. I think it went underneath this piece here. And it goes underneath this and then goes through the other way. This fella had a lot of bad luck getting this. The first one he ordered, well, they sent the wrong one the first time. But that was actually the second one because he ordered one before, and when it was shipped across the border, they opened the package with a knife to check the package, and they sliced right through it. That was the first one. Then he got another one, but the next one he got was the same, was wrong. It was the wrong one. It was the one that was much wider. So back it went, and now we got the correct one here this time. Just got to put this through here, and we're going to solder this down. It's got to obviously clip on here somehow, or sit on here. Oh man, it almost didn't look right. It looks like it's off by a little bit, maybe not. Oh, you know, it's like, is it right? It almost looks like the alignment is wrong because they don't line up right. I guess it's right like that. Maybe they'll fit just like that, right on the edge there. This was a simple replacement, but getting the actual ribbon cable routed through and through this hinge assembly was that was the hardest part of the job, figuring out what way it went in. Of course, I took the other one out and gave it back to him so he had the right size, so I didn't have the previous one to compare it to. That's kind of how it sits in here. There's double-sided tape on here. I'm going to remove this and stick it down. That'll get this thing attached to the actual goes on like that. Okay, that's how that part goes on. And this, when we wind it up, it will pick up the slack. So I get my alignment correct. I'm soldering or attaching the connector, and I'm just going to hold the wire up on the bottom here and solder in a couple of these ones, and then we'll remove it to do the other side. Because I don't know that I might be able to get into here from up top here. You know, I might be able to do that once I've got it in place. But we're going to tack a couple of these down first, and then I can do the other one, do the other ones on the top, and hopefully that's all that we need to do on this one. And it'll get this one functional again, and I'll get it out of my hair because, you know, I just really love working on car stereo. The 12 volt in my channel name has nothing to do with working on 12 volt electronics. I normally don't work on car radios at all. I haven't worked on them for many years. I think when I first started, when I was like 16, working at the first shop, I got to work on some car audio for a bit, and I hated every minute of it. You'd get people that would blow their stuff up, right? You get kids that would hook their power boosters or amplifiers up that required a balanced output, and of course they'd be connecting them to the common ground speakers that were in the car, the factory speakers. Kaboom! And they'd blow their amplifier, and you'd fix it, and then they'd blow it again, and you'd fix it. And they kept blowing it up. I hated it. I hated everything about car audio because so many people mess things up. I taught. Tack a couple of them down, then I can solder the rest. clearance by removing the screws now and pushing up the connector and tacking the other side on. Put this forward like this, and then I can get in here with the iron and redo these ones because not all of them are making a good connection. So this faceplate snaps on, and then you just push it and turn it around like that, and then when you hit this button here, it will turn around and go back the other way again. So this connector is going to go onto this one. Okay, that goes in like that, and there's a couple more screws that go on the side. I don't know if it's going to work at this point, but we'll see. I'm also probably recommend to him that he does not reverse the faceplate. Just put it on and leave it as a regular radio. Stop reversing the faceplate, because that's what Rex sees in the first place, is flipping them back and forth all the time. Bends that ribbon cable constantly, and that will cause it to fail. So I would recommend leaving it in one position. Okay, now the CD player, plug that in. CD player back in. Fasten the screws. Now, I don't know that I can even power this thing up though, because I don't have the pin out and I don't have the cable. So I'm going to have to send this back and just have them test it, see whether it works, because without a way to hook it up to power, and I don't know which pins are power, right? I don't know which ones, I don't know what's positive, what's 12 volts, what's ground. Well, obviously a chassis is ground. But I don't know what pin is 12 volts it's not listed on here. It's not listed on this side either, so I'm going to have to just hope that it works, send it back, and let him try it. Mount it back in his car and see whether this is got the problem solved. What the hell way does this thing go on? This goes on like this, I think. Yeah, it goes on like that. Okay. So I'll drop the screws in and send it back, and hopefully we've got it. I mean, there's not much to changing this. It was kind of a pain in the ass to thread it in there, but it only really goes in one way, so I think we're probably okay. So I'll leave it at that and say thanks for watching. It's got a new ribbon cable. Hopefully it works. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.